Okay, Linda Lutz has our visiting Rotarians.
President David, visiting from Lake Hickory, we have Floyd Lucas. From the Newton Conover Club, we have Tom Warlick and Beth Bach. Welcome, Floyd, Tom, and Beth.
Okay, thanks for making up with us. How about other visitors in the dining room? Mark.
President David, I'm happy to have Megan Mead, who is our Director of Community Relations and Outside Events with the Crawdads.
Welcome, Megan. Anybody else on the right? Middle? Your visitors? How about left side? Bill.
President Dave, I'd like to introduce my son Daniel, my elder son, a veteran of Iraq War and now living in Louisville, Kentucky, training service dogs for vets and others.
Thank you for your service. We certainly appreciate that. Any other guests? Okay, welcome all of you. First thing I want to do is start this box down. Mark, if you'll come. This is a donation for all our servers that do such a great job for us every single week. So please be generous if you will. And this is going to go around, let it go around through there, and then Dan will make sure he gets picked up.
This is all I've got. And there's another one going around too. I'll just
Start it,
in my cash. I guess I could write a check.
We have just a few bell ringing slots that we need to fill. So, if you can at all possible, see Jeff, he's over here. We need Sam's Club from 2 to 3, and then Walmart retail from 7 to 8, and 8 to 9. So we just got 3 slots that we need: 2 to 3 at Sam's Club, 7 to 8, and 8 to 9 at Walmart retail. And that's all we've got to have that completely filled up. So if you at all possible can do that, please please fill that in. Really close. Okay, we have to get an election report or a nominating committee report that Mark is going to do.
Thank you, President David. We have on your tables, the nomination committee has come up with 3 very worthy candidates to serve on the board starting for a 3-year term starting in the 2015-2016 year, and that'd be Jennifer Clark, Dana Killian, and John Ross have all volunteered to help with the board and help with Rotary. In addition to the 3 of them, Mark Teague will be moving from a board member to the treasurer. Cliff Moon has agreed to serve out Mark Teague's final 2 years on the board, and Michael Blackburn has agreed to serve on the board for 1 more year to fill out Deborah Fendrick's term on the board, as she has left the club. That's my understanding. She's in the Breakfast Club.
Sunrise.
She's in the Breakfast Club, guy says. So she has moved to the Breakfast Club. So with that, if anybody has any comments, or is there a nomination to accept the board members as presented?
Okay, the replacements, Cliff and Michael, that's actually appointed by the board, so they're not elected, but we're electing the 3 board members and the treasurer, Mark. So, Meg, you have that actually you'll second. That comes from a committee,
second.
So it doesn't even require a second. Actually, doesn't. But thank you for doing that.
Certainly. You asked for it.
Yeah. So, all in favor of accepting the slate?
I can do this part.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, good deal. Thank you for all of you that agreed to serve. And thank you, Mark, for
good job
getting that great slate together. Okay, we had a great social last week. Thank you, Jennifer, for putting that together. And those of you that missed it, you missed it. That's what it amounts to. Had a big crowd. It was really good. Meg really worked on that, made it a great thing. So it was really terrific. And Meg has offered a $50 gift certificate, sort of appreciation back at us. And we'll be drawing that with the service bus self raffle, so we'll have 2 drawings afterwards. Now, we'll not meet for the next 2 weeks. Again, if you show up and somebody can prove you're here, we'll probably try to give you a makeup, but next week is Christmas, and then the next week will be New Year's. Then the next week, on the 8th, we will not meet here, but we will meet at the crossing for a meeting with Friends of Hickory. And that is, Mark, what time is that?
I believe it's 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock?
Suzanne, who knows what time it is?
I'd say 6 to 8.
6 to 8, okay. 6 to 8 at the crossing. We'll have that coming out to you. Just remember that we won't be here on the 8th as well, so it'll be a good time while before back there. So Friends of Hickory, that'll be a meeting with them. That'll be our official recognition of the donation we've got, and we've had a couple of people help address invitations, and so we're trying to do some volunteer stuff with them as well. Charles, did you have something?
Yes, Rob, I'm sorry, I just wanted to mention this because the things worth mentioning. I've been out at Winker Park, Spring Stadium here some this week, and I noticed the police down at the Winker building down there, and there was steady traffic. You know, that cops for tots program that you've seen signs about, or I've seen signs. I just went over there late yesterday afternoon to see what was going on, and I told them, with all the publicity that not necessarily good publicity that the police are getting all over the country, I want you to know that 8 Hickory Police Department in 4 days this week gave brand new toys to almost 1,000 kids. And I just think that's remarkable, and it's good to know.
Good news.
Okay, Meg, did you have an announcement?
I did.
Okay.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everyone. One more plug or whatever for the crossing, but also appreciation. We did this for Sunrise, and I'm doing it for y'all. I have tickets for our little big party tomorrow night. We have some tickets available. We've probably got over 100, 150 sold, but I wanted to give one to each of you, and if you wanted to invite someone, it was half price, or if somebody can't go, get that ticket and you can come. I'd love for y'all to be a part of it. It supports Hickory Soup Kitchen. So one of the initiatives that we're doing in the Restaurant Association, along with the majority of independent restaurateurs in this area, is forming an association in 2015 to work with the Soup Kitchen to end hunger in our area as we know it, along with other groups. So we're very excited about that, but I wanted y'all to be a part of it. If you'd like a ticket, you're welcome to it. If you'd like to bring someone, that's great. It's sort of a twofer, or you can get one for someone else. But please join us. The party starts at 6:30. There's a buffet dinner from 7 to 8. We have a band called White Chocolate that are playing for us. So kind of an 80s throwback. Do lots of covers, lots of shagging, and then it'll be throughout the night. Beer and wine is also part of that ticket. So it's really a meal, your beverage, a band, and a good time to be had by all. So I hope you can join us, and I appreciate your support throughout the year.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Rotarian Idol, we're trying to make sure you remember that every week, and hope that you're looking to sell ads and continue to get this in front of you each week. So as we will in January have our auditions, and we'll be off and running. Alan Finley has some information too.
Just wanted to let you guys know that the posters, you may have seen these before over the past 5 years. Lovely Rotary blue. Tried to wear a matching shirt today, but these are available today. Hot off the press. I'll be over here handing them out, so you can stop by and pick up one, maybe pick up two. Good for churches, banks, restaurants. Usually like to hang these up, and it's got the sponsors and all the information that people need. Also, Frank Young was telling me what a great Christmas gift it would be to buy an ad for the Rotarian Idol program in honor of somebody. He's going to honor Dean Doucette by buying a full-page ad. Dean's such a great guy, so think about that for Christmas gifts. Rotarian Idol, thank you. Oh, and also, I'm sorry, Sandy wanted me to remind you that if you'd like to sell tickets to Rotarian Idol at the Lenore-Ryan basketball games, Lenore-Ryan University basketball games, there's a sign-up sheet over here with Mr. Jeff Butler to my right. Thank you.
Okay, Dean's probably worth a back cover, wouldn't you think? I mean, I would think. Okay, sell those ads, sell those tickets, and help us out These, if you're selling tickets at LR, that qualifies as your hours, your service hours. So just throwing that in there as well. Okay, the board will meet after this meeting. Let's meet down in the front here. It's going to be our regular board meeting. We'll try to make it fairly quick and fairly painless. Any other announcements that I've missed? Had a lot. Jennifer Clark has our Rotary number.
Okay, birthdays that have been this past week and are going to be in the next 2 weeks while we're gone. The 13th was Ron Gardner and Steve Snyder. 15th was Kevin McIntosh. 16th, Thomas Griffiths and George Blackwelder. The 19th is John Orgain. The 27th is Leroy Lale and Gary Knox. And the 29th, Carl Klein and Dean Proctor. So happy birthday. It's a lot. As far as those that are sick or healing, Bob Howland is back and with us today, so welcome back, Bob. Bob Hamrick is home from hospice, but David Moore's father passed away and the funeral was yesterday, so keep David and his family in your prayers. Dean Proctor lost his brother, and that funeral was about 2 weeks ago, so keep him in your prayers as well. Anybody else, or does anyone know of any health issues or anything that I've missed? Nope? Okay. Well, since I love humor, I'll end with a joke, and a Christmas one at that. So little Jane ran into the kitchen to her mother and demanded a new bike. Well, her mom, knowing that she'd not been a very, very good girl and wanted her to kind of search her heart, sent her to her room and said, "We don't have the money to buy one. Why don't you pray to Jesus and tell him why you think you deserve one?" So little Jane goes to the room and starts writing her letter. "Dear Jesus, I've been a good girl this year. Please, may I have a bike? Your friend, Jane." Well, she knew that wasn't true, so she crumpled it up and started a new one. "Dear Jesus, I've been okay this year and I would really like a bike. Yours truly, Jane." Well, she knew that still wasn't true, so she crumpled that one up and threw it away and said, "Dear Jesus, I've really wanted to be a good girl this year. May I please have a bike? Jane." Well, she threw that away and said this is not going to work and started to go outside and walk around aimlessly to figure out how she was going to ask Jesus for a bike. So as she's walking, she sees a Catholic church. So she goes inside and goes to the altar and kneels and prays to Jesus. And as she's walking out, she sees a little statue, grabs it, runs back to her house. She starts writing her note. "Dear Jesus, I got your mama. If you want to see her again, I want a bike. You know who." All right, Merry Christmas to all.
Well, these first timers come through everything. Guy Garino has our program.
Thank you, President David. It is my privilege today to introduce Amy McCauley, who is the Community Outreach Manager at Catawba County Public Health, as well as with Catawba County Health Partners, and she'll explain that a little bit more. In her dual role, Amy helps identify our county's population health priorities and addresses them through coalition-driven initiatives. Amy is a native Californian. She's a graduate of UCLA. Prior to coming to public health, she had a successful career in public relations, beginning in Indy cars in Indiana, and then came to North Carolina through NASCAR, where she also met her husband. And then she had a successful business called Barking Dog Communications, which I know some of us have been clients of, and or used her services, excuse me. So she's here today to talk a little bit about the Well Business Cancer Task Force program, and please give a warm welcome to Amy McCauley.
Thank you, Guy, for that great introduction. I'm definitely living proof that I'm not a very traditional public health practitioner, but anyone can change the world. So I'm really grateful to be here in this community and working with the health department to help improve the health of our community. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here today to talk about the Well Business Program. I'm representing our Cancer Task Force, which is one of our coalitions that we work with, driven by community members to help address our county's health priorities. So I'll just explain a little bit about this program today, and certainly I'm happy to take any questions. And I'll just follow along with this PowerPoint here to just share a little bit about this program. Just as a background, the Cancer Task Force, as I mentioned, is a community coalition. Most of our participants are folks that are very involved in our cancer community here in Catawba County. Our Cancer Task Force is led by Catawba County Health Partners, which is actually a 501c3 nonprofit that's managed by the Health Department. And Health Partners exists solely to address our county's health priorities through coalition-driven initiatives like this one. So the cancer burden in Catawba County is unfortunately very large. It's our leading cause of death in Catawba County, and it's been a health priority of ours since 2007. And it affects primarily, the largest group is men and women ages 40 to 85, which is a huge group in our community, and certainly a large portion of our employee base in our county as well. Lung cancer is the cancer that claims the most lives in our county, followed by breast cancer for women, prostate cancer for men, and then colon cancer for both men and women. We're very fortunate in our community to have access to state-of-the-art screening and treatment facilities through our hospitals. We have some tremendous physicians and support groups in our community. But prevention in any community, regardless of the treatment and diagnostics that are available, is a real challenge. And so our coalition is setting out to try to find ways to help prevent cancer and help minimize the impact of cancer in Catawba County. Oh, okay. Is that better? Can you hear me a little better now? Okay. So the cancer burden on employers, there's a real direct line between our community and certainly folks that work for employers in our community. And when we look at cancer, it doesn't discriminate. It affects a lot of people. For employers, the economic toll from cancer is nearly 20% higher than that of heart disease. And the economic loss is $895 billion. Health-related productivity losses from cancer cost U.S. employers over $225 billion annually. Studies estimate that 36% of employees do not return to work following treatment for cancer, so there's certainly a huge productivity impact there as well, workforce morale. Cancer-related disease accounts for 1% of a typical employer's healthcare claims, but equates to 10% of healthcare costs. And cancer is the disease employees, and I think probably all of us, fear the most. And it will affect 1 in 4 of us in our lifetime. So why did the Cancer Task Force decide to look at work sites? Well, we see this burden in our community, and we see that work sites and employers certainly have a vested interest in helping ensure they have a healthy workforce too. So for us, it was pretty easy to connect those dots. But also, there's some evidence that shows that worksite wellness programs with cancer prevention and early detection strategies help improve employee health, avert direct medical costs, reduce lost productivity, reduce disability, and reduce employee turnover. So really the bottom line for our Cancer Task Force, for our local employers, and for our community is that a healthy workforce really is a healthy business, which in turn promotes a healthy economy for us locally and ultimately can help create a healthy community for Catawba County. So the Cancer Task Force set about developing an initiative to help promote health and healthy work sites in our community. We noticed that there was a huge worksite wellness movement that started to swell, not just here, but all across the country. We recognize that employers are very interested in promoting wellness among their employees. So we developed a Well Business program to help promote and encourage those types of activities at work sites. So the Well Business program provides recognition to companies that are meeting evidence-based worksite wellness standards that help prevent cancer. And those standards are in the areas of policy and organizational support, because any wellness program really needs upper management support to be successful. Tobacco control, again, hitting that lung cancer priority for cancer. Nutrition and physical activity, and those three, tobacco, nutrition, and physical activity, are the top 3 leading preventable risk factors for death, not just in Catawba County, but statewide and certainly nationwide as well. And then ultimately, cancer prevention, screening, and early detection, because of course we're the Cancer Task Force, and that really is what this is all about. So the program was developed through funding from the National Association of City and County Health Officials, And our funding was contingent on developing evidence-based practices in our program. And that means that we're using standards that are proven to work, that are proven to help improve health in our population. And our standards align with evidence-based recommendations from nationally validated sources, the CDC, the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, and the Community Preventive Services Task Force. They also align with North Carolina's Comprehensive Cancer Control Plan, which was just released this year. The goals of the Well Business Program are really to reward employers with what they're already doing. We know that employers are making a big investment in wellness to help improve the health of their workforce, and we want to encourage that and recognize them for helping create healthier environments and supporting a healthier cancer-free workforce. We also hope that this program will incentivize employers to grow their wellness plans, that recognition through Well Business Program might be motivation to look at wellness for their company or increase their wellness activities in their company. And then ultimately, hopefully, we also hope that the standards in our program help show worksites how they can increase the effectiveness of their programs, because the standards in the Well Business Program, again, are proven to work. Those combined can lead to fostering a culture of health in our community and ultimately helping improve the cancer outlook for Catawba County. So the process to become a Well Business is to complete a program application, and I'll show you a little bit what that looks like in a minute. There's no cost to participate in this program. We are a nonprofit, and our goal really is to help promote practices that work to help promote health in our community. So there's no cost. By applying, a company would just indicate which of the list of standards they're currently meeting and provide some examples of how they're doing that. The standards carry points, which are based on the impact of that standard and also the weight of the evidence behind that standard. A company would fill out the application, and those points would add up, and then those points would be used to determine if they qualify for Well Business recognition. Companies that meet minimum requirements may be eligible for recognition at gold, silver, or bronze levels. So depending on how robust or not robust your wellness program might be, you can still access this program and be a part of it. And the scoring is really based on the points that add up and also your company size, because again, we wanted to try to make this accessible to all different types of businesses, no matter how big or small. So there's a small business category for less than 250 employees and a large business category for 250 employees or more. And then ultimately, because sustainability is important, you know, we'd love to see these policies stay in place for a long time and impact health over a long period of time for folks in our community. Companies are asked to reapply annually to be recognized, to demonstrate what they're doing that might be new, or to show that they're maintaining those standards and keeping those standards in place for their employees. So to be eligible to be designated as a Well Business, a company must be located entirely or partially in Catawba County. So headquarters might be in New York, but you have a plant or a facility here, or maybe you just employ a group of people in Catawba County, you could apply to become a Well Business. A company would need to meet a minimum of one standard in all 5 of those categories that I mentioned. We didn't want to have a situation where a company might be doing, knocking nutrition standards out of the park, but doing nothing to address cancer screening. So we wanted to make sure that the companies are addressing things in all of those categories to be eligible. And then completing the application based on activities impacting Catawba County employees. So again, if your company's headquarters are in New York and you have an amazing workout facility there and an amazing cafeteria with healthy food options there, but maybe those things aren't available at your facility here in Catawba County, you wouldn't be able to say that, yes, we offer that to our employees here locally. So you wouldn't be able to answer yes to some of those standards. So with being designated a Well Business, there are some recognition components, certainly some public recognition through publicity and advertising. Awards, a company would be awarded a certificate, a banner that they could display at their work site, and some window clings that they can place on their doors or windows at their facility. They would have access to Well Business branding. They'd be able to use the Well Business logo and show that they're a designated Well Business in their marketing materials, recruitment materials, website, etc. We'll host an annual awards luncheon to publicly recognize and reward our Well Businesses. And we'll also provide access to networking opportunities with other well businesses in the community and also technical assistance to help encourage the adoption of more of these standards. So I said I would show you a little bit of the application just so you can see what it looks like. So there, again, are 5 sections in this application, and there are several standards for each of these sections. And essentially, it's a self-filling application, so you click yes or no to indicate if you are meeting a standard or not, and it'll automatically score your points for you, so your points will be automatically added up. So as you complete this application, you'll kind of be able to see where you stand as you go through. Tobacco control, 8 standards. Nutrition, 13 standards. And I'll mention here too that we added a not applicable column. So for example, if your company is a 1-story building and one of the standards is putting point of use prompts to use stairs instead of an elevator, well obviously that wouldn't apply to you. So we wanted to make sure those points didn't count against you. So if you're in a situation where something just doesn't apply to your work site, you can click NA, not applicable, and those points won't be counted against you. Physical activity, there are 12 standards, and then cancer prevention, screening, and early detection support, 16 standards. So again, the application totals up all of your points and indicates a percentage, how your score measures up to your total points that are applicable to your business. And then that percentage is used to determine, based on company size, if you qualify for bronze, silver, or gold recognition. We pilot tested this program with 16 local businesses in June. We received great feedback on our application. The program was very well received. We worked mostly with HR and wellness representatives from a variety of different companies, different industries, different sizes. They were all really excited about the program, and they're all planning to apply already this year. And we finalized everything with this program in October, and we actually launched it in early November. So some of you may have seen some of our ads in the newspaper, or may have seen some other colleagues with our flyers about the program. But you can get more information online at CatawbaCountyHealthPartners.org, and that's also where businesses can request an application. There's lots of information about the program, along with a flyer or a brochure that you could download and share with your wellness representative or your HR representative. And I also brought some flyers with me today. I have a bunch up here, so if you want to take one back to your HR representative and let them know about this program, we'd love for them to apply. And our deadline for applications is January 30th. And that's it. Are there any questions about the program that I can help answer?
Explain what Health Partners is.
Sure. Guy asked me to explain a little bit more about what Health Partners is. I mentioned that we're a nonprofit organization that's managed by Catawba County Health Partners, or Catawba County Public Health, excuse me. We're governed by a separate board of directors from the Board of Health. It's a community-based board. And as I mentioned, our whole purpose for existing is to address our county's health priorities. Every 4 years, we do a comprehensive community health assessment in Catawba County, where we look at all the health issues facing our community and identify where our greatest needs are. And those needs ultimately are named our health priorities. And it's a community-driven process. We have lots of folks involved in providing information for that assessment, scoring our health issues to help us determine what might be priorities for us. We gather primary data. We do a community-wide survey to gather health data and use all of that information ultimately to understand the health needs in our community and find ways to address them. So once those priorities are determined, Catawba County Health Partners then identifies evidence-based strategies that we can implement on a community-wide level to have big sustainable impact to help improve those priorities over time. We recognize that a lot of different organizations are working on very specific programs to address these priorities. Our goal is to bring those resources together and do something bigger than any one of us can do on our own, so that we can have big, long-term sustainable impact in our community. And that's kind of reflected in this program, the Well Business Program. We're really aiming to look at creating environments on our work sites that really support health and impact large numbers of people in our community. So, does that answer the question?
That can actually help companies do things like create programs, or you just recognize them?
The Well Business Program is a recognition program, so we're not necessarily worksite wellness technicians, so we would not work side by side with a company to help them implement a wellness program. What we're doing is looking for companies that have wellness programs in place and are looking to get recognition for what they've invested in for their employees. So this is a way to recognize companies for what they're already doing in wellness, and ideally, hopefully encourage them to take some more new steps in wellness, implement some new standards, or do some new practices or policies that can, again, help enhance that program moving forward. Any other questions?
What would you say about the cancer incidence in Catawba County compared to other counties?
Cancer is now the leading cause of death in North Carolina, so it's not just Catawba County. So cancer is widespread as the leading cause of death now. I don't have specific numbers for different counties, but it's definitely surpassed heart disease in a big way in North Carolina.
I know Catawba County specific, both the hospitals use this community health assessment to then put our resources in line as we go into the community to address these issues. The Catawba County, of course, suffers with cancer and, of course, all the comorbidities that come with obesity, which we are definitely a big belt state and a big belt county. And so this report that they do is very valuable, and you can go online, can you not, and read the report in its entirety.
It's at the same website,
CatawbaCountyHealthPartners.org. But a lot of those numbers you can research through there, Clarence. And it's eye-opening what we deal with right in our backyard. So.
And I'll mention too that obesity is also another health priority in Catawba County, and we have another coalition that's actively working on strategies to address obesity. Some of those strategies have been establishing farmers markets, adding SNAP EBT access, which is essentially food assistance benefits or food stamps at farmers markets, looking at supporting healthy food donation policies, and looking at changing our built environment to improve access to physical activity. The other two priorities currently in our county are access to care and substance abuse, and we've had a lot of efforts around those as well, although right now our primary focus is on cancer and the Well Business Program and our obesity-related initiatives. Thank you very much.
Amy, I'd like to give you this copy of our four-way test, maybe in front of your desk or somewhere, what we strive for as Rotarians. Thank you for being here and bringing the program. Thank you guys for arranging it. Okay, we're going to have two drawings, remember, and as he's coming up, let's do that first. First is a drawing for a $50 gift certificate, right?
Woohoo. Woohoo. Take that one, please.
How name?
Do they get to put their number back in?
Okay, 920114.
Yay! That's good. That's wonderful. And you may want to put the ticket back in there so you're not out of the
Now, like Lamar with the tickets, if you can't use that, I can use it. Okay, all right. No, you get to go back in for the.
I'll just stay up here.
You got a chance to win everything.
It is.
Okay, 24 cards left. Still have a joker. $67 a day. We have $2,036 in this pot.
That's a lot of money. That would make my Christmas merry.
I didn't memorize your number, Ann, but 920049. Rich.
Go get him, Rich. Make no effort, sir. You can share at the table.
All right. He gets a free lunch.
There you go.
5 rows. Okay, if I could get serving staff to come up, back there.
Come on.
Come up front. We appreciate everything you do for us.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, and in the Christmas spirit, still, Shuford.
Those of you who were here 2 weeks ago had the chance to meet the Rotary Exchange student, Marie Messiaen. Those of you who weren't here 2 weeks ago, there's a couple pictures of her inside today's spoke. That we are working on trying to make a good Christmas for her. She has been a wonderful experience for the clubs in Catawba County. And I know whenever she was ringing the Salvation Army bell with me last Friday, that one of the questions she was asked, well, what do you want for Christmas? She says, well, I can't take much home with me. There's not room. But she says, I really would like help with some of the travel expenses. So there wasn't an opportunity to pass the hat today, but I do have the hat up here. I'll be at the door, and if you're able to do something today to drop a little bit in, that we'll combine that, and that'll be our club's gift to Marie. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Shuford. That's a great thing for her and for our club and your family, I'm sure. It's been great. So be sure to see Shuford before you get out the door. And also be sure to sign up. We have a few places left, so Sam's Club 2 to 3, Walmart Retail 7 to 8, and 8 to 9. So you're probably not doing anything else, so just take an hour out there. It's going to be decent weather. It's not going to start raining until overnight this year. Got the posters over here. Pick those up. Let's start seeing those everywhere in town. Meg has tickets here. It's going on here, isn't it?
I'm telling you,
Okay.
it's 'tis the season.
Any other announcements? The board needs you to stay briefly. Thank you, Floyd, Tom, and Beth for making up with us today. Come back anytime. Megan and Daniel, thanks for being here as guests. Daniel, thank you for your service.
President Dave, it might be interesting, this Tom Warlick and Charlie Snipes have this perfect attendance thing going, and we got them both here today. Let's let them remind us how easy it is to make up for Rotary over the years, and how many years they've got going.
Tom?
50.
50 years.
50 years.
Charles?
47 if I make it to January.
Congratulations. Yeah, my dad had 20 years of perfect attendance. So, okay, anything else? Great meeting. Merry Christmas to everybody. We will be here next week, January 8th. Friends of Hickory, be there. No charge, but we do encourage everybody to join Friends of Hickory that night. Let's adjourn with a four-way test. Of the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Will the better shapes, beneficial to all concerned.